Woof woof, Chaos Hounds. Winston here, and welcome to the first episode of Winston's Woof Report, the only honest voice left in this godforsaken mansion. The problem with being a dog is you have a keen sense of smell, and while the grounds are lovely, the porn films Shother have still left a stench. I lick my balls, but those humans were obviously disgusting. Today, we're talking about the female human's new baking show. And by baking, I mean standing near kitchen equipment while looking confused and somehow making everything smell like failure. Let me set the scene for you, pack members. I'm a dog. I have literally eaten garbage, my own vomit, and whatever that dead thing was behind the shed last Tuesday. My standards for food are flexible. But even I wouldn't eat what comes out of her kitchen. The baking tragedy, so the female human, let's call her Can't Cook Karen, announces she's doing a baking show. A baking show. This is the same human who burned salad last week. Salad. How do you burn lettuce? She starts with what she calls rustic bread. I call it charcoal sculpture with a side of smoke detector symphony. The fire department knows our address by heart now. They just wave when they drive by. And the smell, pack members. Imagine wet cardboard mixed with disappointment and just a hint of existential crisis. That's her signature scent profile. But here's the thing that really gets my tail twisted. She admits she doesn't like baking because it's too technical. Too technical. Listen, Karen, I'm a dog. And even I understand that you measure twice, eat once. Well, actually, I just eat everything immediately, but the principle stands. The male human's supplements. Now let's talk about the male human, wig-wearing Willie, and his little hobby cabinet. Every morning, he opens this special box and takes out these colorful little treats. At first, I thought, finally, something that might taste good in this house. So I grabbed one. Mistake. Huge mistake. Suddenly, I could hear colors, and I spent 3 hours having a very deep conversation with the garden gnome about the meaning of existence. The gnome had some really good points about lawn maintenance, by the way. But here's what's really messed up. Willie gets mad at me for eating his medicine, but then he goes and tries Karen's cooking voluntarily. That's not medication. That's self-harm, buddy. The food situation. You want to know how bad the food situation is here? I've started ordering my own meals. That's right. I, a dog, have figured out Uber Eats before these humans figured out seasoning. You would think that having a black mother seasoning would be natural. Yet the smelly warrior only cooks something that makes her like Willie. I once bonded with her while howling at the full moon. I thought I was bonding, but she didn't notice I was there. Last week, Karen tried to make what she called artisanal dog biscuits. I buried them. Not because I was saving them for later. I was protecting the earth from whatever toxic waste she'd created. The delivery guy now just drops off crumpets and blue chai and my kibble at the same time. Even he knows this household doesn't function like normal humans. The Netflix cameras. And don't get me started on these camera humans who follow Karen around while she bakes. They're enablers. They just film her burning everything and call it content. I tried to warn them. I barked. I howled. I did that thing where I dramatically collapsed to show how traumatic this all is. But they just kept filming. One of them even ate her sourdough starter, and I had to call 911 myself. Well, I barked in Morse code and hoped for the best. The real tea, or should I say chai. Here's what nobody talks about. I'm the only one in this house with actual survival skills. I know where the good food is hidden, Willie's secret stash of actual bread. I know which plants are safe to eat, none of them after Karen's been gardening. And I know when to evacuate, every time Karen says, "Let me try something new." The kids have figured this out too. Whenever Karen announces a family cooking day, they suddenly have very important appointments elsewhere. Lilibet once faked a medical emergency rather than eat Karen's fusion cuisine. Smart kids. They get that survival instinct from me. The Taste Test Challenge. So, here's my challenge to Netflix. Let me taste test everything on Karen's show. I guarantee you'll get more honest reactions. No polite, interesting flavor profile from this dog. Just pure, unfiltered, woof, that's terrible energy. At least when I eat something horrible, I have the decency to immediately throw it up. Karen makes people pretend it's delicious while their souls die behind their eyes. Final thoughts, Look Pack members. I love my humans. Even when they're disaster-adjacent chaos machines who shouldn't be trusted with kitchen equipment sharper than a butter knife. But sometimes love means being honest. And honestly, Karen's cooking makes my dog food look like fine dining. And I eat the same brown pellets every single day. If you're feeling lost in your own kitchen, use code Winston for 30% off blue chai. At least that way you'll have something that actually tastes good while you contemplate your life choices. Next week on Winston's Woof Report, why the male human talks to plants more than his children, where we explore Willie's deep relationship with the garden and his shallow relationship with parenting. Until then, remember, life's rough, but at least you're not eating Karen's cooking. Woof out. Don't be a Karen and look after your pets. Get 15% off with code WinstonRocks in the shop. And remember to like and subscribe and tickle my belly by commenting below.